Greetings. My name is Dr. Monica Moody Moore, and you are invited to Pivot on Purpose. Welcome to this week's episode. I'm so glad you're here. Pivot on Purpose is your opportunity to lean into yourself, to gather those skills and competencies that you know are potent and impactful in helping you succeed. I'm with you on every step of this journey. Let's learn and grow and go together. This week's topic is one that's near and dear to me, and hopefully you can hear the smile in my voice because it's something I'm very passionate about. As a connector in chief, I encourage you to network on purpose. To network on purpose means you start from the inside out. You start with your purpose. Why are you motivated to engage? What do you have to offer and contribute? To what end will you serve and benefit what you've been given? In what ways can you further leverage? To network means to bring yourself to the table whole and with the intentionality of connecting and giving deeply to others. So, as you network in purpose with me, I encourage you to think about several things concurrently. Your network is your net worth. It is the cumulative effects of your circle of friends and influencers, those that stand to put you in a better position and with whom you can better position. There is a degree of mutuality in networking, that it is a win-win that I'll talk more about later. But as you show up to your network intention, show up with intentionality to not just be desirous of an outcome, but to be willing to give for the benefit of that outcome. There is a necessary requirement to be intentional, to network with purpose, to think about your why, to think about your how, to think about your distribution channel for what you've been given and how you plan to amplify and use it further. So as you think about with whom to network, I encourage you to think broad yet deep. Go with the 360 view of everyone within your range in those a few circles or layers removed. Think of it this way: across industries, maybe you're in hospitality, maybe you're in automotives, maybe you're in finance, maybe you're in an area that I haven't mentioned. There are many, but think across your industry, not just within your industry. There's tremendous value of connecting with those that are in adjacent industries that can be very helpful to your long-term success. Also, think across generations. You need not landlock yourself in one particular age range, whatever age that is. You can go up, you can go down. Think about those that are older than you, your elders, so to speak, those that have already been there, done that, who can be very helpful to you in your next adventure. But also think of those that are younger. Everyone has value add. That is my bias and my belief, I know. But when I begin with that paradigm, I don't leave possibilities on the table. I engage broadly and deeply, first with the understanding that I do so with a genuine, authentic approach, but I also do so without restrictions on age. Anyone can give from any position and add value to your pursuits. I also encourage you to think across functional areas. If you are in finance, for example, it's not a bad idea to know someone well who's in the risk area, as another example. If I'm in marketing, for example, it's not a bad idea to know someone that's completely outside of marketing. So I encourage you to think across functional areas as well. So across industries, across generations, and across functions can help you have a 360-degree view of the possibilities. You can also consider your communal if relationships. Who do you know within your general community? That may be within your faith, social organizations, other affiliations you may have. within your school system, if you're college age, or even if you're high school, or even if you're outside of college and you're thinking of alumni status, or if you've never gone to college, but you're within a network of people that have done vocational training or a new hire program. Again, think broad yet deep. As you're doing this type of consideration, you can map out the areas in which you wish to target. Just like you would before you start a movie, you would storyboard your ideas. So before you act, you can actually contemplate and storyboard. But I encourage you to think broad and deeply about those you know and those that may be known by others that you know. So the friends of friends. They can be helpful in making warm connections so that you can engage more broadly. Because networking is something I believe in personally, I take a lot of joy in giving and giving before I get, and giving without the expectation of ever getting, particularly from the person in which I'm connected to directly. I may pour into that person with sending video clips or articles or invitations to events I've seen, but I do so without the expectation that I'm going to get something either immediately or directly. The give-get scenario is one that's very broad in scope. I may give in one direction and actually get or receive from another direction. It's more about the cycle of giving and getting instead of a one-to-one match. So as I network, I'm thinking of how can I learn this person more deeply so I can be of benefit? How can I connect this person to other value add people or experiences that may benefit them? And then what might they be able to contribute to my own learning? I actually think of their contribution to my learning because knowledge is the greater amplifier, in my opinion. Because if I learn something, then I can leverage and use it to my delight, as opposed to I just received something one time. I don't know how to repeat it. I don't know how to amplify it or leverage it further. So if you teach me, just like teaching me to fish, I then can fish on my own. So I take a lot of value add in those that can improve or increase my knowledge and impact my learning in a way, hopefully, that this video is doing for you in increasing your knowledge and learning in this space. You have something to offer. Keep that in mind. So as you're networking, regardless of from what seat you're networking, there is something valuable you can contribute, even if it's passing along another free webinar. And I do encourage you to share this video broadly with people you know and for whom you believe it may be beneficial. So if you give holistically, generously, before you ever seek to get, I think you'll stand a much better chance of being the receiver of the abundance that you've already put into the universe. Without expectation is very important. So again, it's not just giving, it's giving without expectation. And the more you give, the more trust you build. Over time, those who give garner trust with those with whom they have given. So I encourage you to give early, give often, and give without expectation. Very important in this regard. I very much encourage you to give without the expectation of getting and not wait to give. And don't wait to actually extend your hand to network. Networking should be proactive, not reactive. So as you're seeking to form your circle of new friends, do so with the contemplation of future. It's not just what you need or what may be of pursuit to you today, but as I network with others, I keep doors open. I don't burn bridges. I try to maintain meaningful relationships that can stand the test of time. Networking is very much proactive before you ever need something. If you've waited until you need that recommendation letter, you may have waited a bit too long. It doesn't mean the person won't give you a reference or a recommendation. It just may mean that you could have missed out on a range of benefits through nurturing that relationship. So here's some advice. Check in regularly with people with whom you know. It's just an intermittent going through your, so to speak, phone book, however you keep that digitally mostly these days, and going through who you know and with whom you've connected over time, and just sending a wellness check. Didn't want anything, just checking in on you, saw something today that reminded me of you, wanted to send this your way. You see how that door is now again open? You've not asked for anything. You've let the person know you're thinking about them. And then you may actually have something to offer, something that may have even been free to you, an article, a webinar, an invite to an event that you've seen that perhaps you don't know that they've seen, a job opportunity that's past your desk that's not for you, but perhaps someone else can benefit. Treat your network just like a garden, something that you have to nurture and feed in order for it to grow along with you. So, networking long before you need anything, you have to be willing to connect others to others as well. So, as you're thinking about your network, it's not just who you know, it's those that are also of benefit from knowing those within your circle. So this may sound like a bit of a riddle, so let me slow it down a bit. My encouragement here is for you to be the connector. Now, you may think, well, wait a minute, I thought you were just giving me info on how to network so I could benefit. Well, in order for you to benefit, you remember the give to get? If you're a connector of people, you then can also become the beneficiary of those connections. Thank you for connecting me to so and so. Here's an invitation to an event that we're having. See, as an example, that may not always be the outcome, but again, you're giving not with the expectation of getting, you're given so that you can strengthen bonds, and strengthened bonds can lead to more results from those collective actions. So be willing to introduce people to each other so that they too can learn and grow together. As you're doing this, please be genuine. Hopefully you can hear in my voice as I'm leaning into the computer. Please be genuine. If you're listening to this video, but you really don't have an interest at all in knowing another human and you really don't care about people, you may find that this is not the best suited video for you because it really is designed with the intentionality of helping people that want to engage with people do it more effectively. So the more you're genuine, that you're curious and you're authentic and you're leaning into the person because you just want to know more about their lived experience or how they accomplish something, or when you celebrate others, you do so with a real smile, you know, that smile that makes your eyes light up, not just the one that's localized with your mouth, but actually is present all over your face, that you can even hear in your voice, like potentially you can hear from me. If you're very interested in others with an authentic way and approach, it really does rake out of you. And as you're doing this work, I know this webinar has me doing the talking because it's one-dimensional here as you're listening, but I encourage you to come with really big ears. Yes, you want to share elements of yourself and your story, and there's opportunities to do that as you meet people and learn and grow with them. But listen and come with really big ears so you can help others really express themselves, and then you can learn from there and be able to gain from that information. Remember, no one wants to be networked. We want to be seen and visible, but no one wants to be networked. So remember that as you engage with the others that you're seeking to build a relationship. And more than anything, I want you to be useful, but don't be used. Set your boundaries so that it's very clear with those with whom you engage. What degree of freedom do you have in terms of what you can offer them or provide? You don't want to mislead. You don't want to offer something that is not deliverable, because people will then call you to task on things that you've offered if in fact you're making an offer of any sort. Avoid reaching out only when you need something. Again, remember, do it in advance. That's when networks are built the best and are strengthened from when you don't need anything. And respect the relationship. Don't treat people just as a means to an end. People are people. And until the robots take over, we're all we have. So I encourage you to be useful, but don't be used. And likewise, don't seek to use others. on your way to climbing into your greatest sense of ambition. I learned this during my time at Franklin Covey, which was a wonderful experience, and they're a wonderful company, FYI. Think win-win. Win-win, which is a Franklin Covey premise that came from Stephen R. Covey, who wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Shout out to Franklin Covey, although I am not on their payroll and this is not a sponsored webinar. I do like to give the citation and the credit where it is due. If you think win-win, networking is not a zero-sum game. Everyone can benefit from the network. When I go into relationships, I'm constantly thinking, what do I have to offer that is of benefit to the other person? I don't go into the equation simply thinking about, how can I get something further from this experience? In fact, that's usually furthest from my mind. When I go into a relationship, I want to learn as much as possible about the other person, about their lived story, about things I can learn from them. I'm not thinking of what I can gain. Now, because I'm very astute at doing this type of natural engagement, what comes out from that often is a way that I can find a way to further deepen our connection with maybe something that they can provide me as well. And it does become a win-win. But networking can very much be mutual. It is intentional for a positive outcome for all. In fact, in my family, we have now a mantra. Everyone wins in our kinship group. I've let you on to something very private to us, because if everyone wins, it really does mean that everyone wins, and we do things for mutual benefit and gain so that no one is feeling short-sighted or compromised in any way. Think of partnerships in which everyone wins. Aren't those partnerships strengthened a little more? And I really want to ask you to be grateful. The more you have appreciation and gratitude, not only do people receive it and receive it well, they're also wanting oftentimes to give further for those that they believe are very grateful for what has already been given to them. So I encourage you to be grateful as you do this work in building relationships. In a moment, I'll do some of a recap, but I know I'm going quickly. I want to give it all to you so you can start the digestion and start to see how you can amplify this work for yourself. If you build now, it's for later. You're planting seeds that may harvest, but may not. Not every relationship actually returns a direct fruit, but they all contribute to the harvest. Future mentors and collaborators are nearby, no doubt, but until you start the engagement process, you may not know the value add that can be experienced. But until you start to do it, you may not need it right at this moment, but it may be something that can return on the future. So I say this to suggest your efforts may not be in vain, and nor are they lost because you don't have a direct response right this second. Don't wait for a title or a role for you to start connecting to others. It's not as if you have to have the title of Grand Poobah in order for you to start reaching out and making connections with other Grand Poobahs. You can actually like something on a social media post or congratulate someone or send an invite without an ask and start to build a relationship, and then further give that person further information that you've seen that you think may be helpful to them. And then over time, you may then open the door up for, we've been engaging remotely for some time. I wonder if we could jump on a Zoom. Again, you didn't start the conversation with, as soon as I extend the LinkedIn request, I want to ask you for a meeting. That's what I want you to not do. I want you to extend the LinkedIn request perhaps, and don't do anything else but give and pour into that LinkedIn request. For some period of time, it's no magic number. You'll know when you feel a sense of it building over time. And then you can begin to ask for a separate conversation, or is there any resource you can share with me that you think may be of value, a podcast, something I can watch on my own, like an on-demand video, etc. Build your relationships knowing that you may not need it now, but who knows what the future may hold. Build your network also with heart, not just hustle. The hustle is I come to the cocktail party and immediately I have my business card or some equivalent in hand and I'm ready to hand it out immediately, even before I say my name fully. No. Say your name and then lean into the person to know their name with the correct pronunciation of it and understand more about them. What excites them? What are they working on that's exciting right now? What has brought them to that space today, etc. Open-ended questions that can start a relationship off in a positive direction. So build now for later. So we're going to do a quick summary of some of the things. I want you to think about networking as something that ties to your net worth. It is a multiplier. It actually strengthens you. I want you to consider win-win outcomes in relationships to build networks with mutual benefit in mind, to give long before you get and give without expectation of ever getting. To think that everyone has something of value to offer that includes you, but everyone else around you. To think of friends of friends of friends. You don't have to just stop with the people you know right directly. It's the friends of friends. And please do a 360 view of your network. It's starting within your closest surroundings, those family members and people that they may know. And if you've gone to any schooling at all, and I say any schooling because those watching this video may be anything from high school to college to graduate school and doctoral studies to I'm an alum or I never went to college to working professionals, early, mid, or later career. This is not lost even on later career people who believe, oh, I already have my network, I'm good. Well, one, think of who else you can bring along. So your network isn't done. You still have work to do to help others rise. And there's still more benefit to be gained, even if it's just in the benefit of another human connection. Human contacts are beneficial. It's one of the things that separate us as humans. We are socially produced. We thrive and grow with others. If you put a human alone in a cave forever and they have no interaction, that's a slightly different kind of human. So there is benefit and value add of humans connecting with other humans. And I want you, if you're willing, to follow me on LinkedIn, connect with me, send me an email, go to my website. But I do put out a lot of free content. For example, this webinar, but I also want you to be mindful of other assets that can be of value to you. Certainly, I can coach you, I can work with you directly, I can come and speak with your team, but I'm in the business of being able to give knowledge everywhere I go and to learn and grow with others who desire to do the same. Thank you for watching, and please follow me on Pivot on Purpose on my YouTube page. Pivot on Purpose. That is not a tongue twister. It's one that I believe in strongly. And I thank you for your time. And please, let's network on purpose and learn and grow together.